Peace family and friends. Thanks for tuning in tonight to Transparency Thursday. We're glad to have you on board with us. Ooh, that's a terrible picture, so forgive me as I try to rearrange this. Um, yeah, I'll try to rearrange this camera a little bit since we have a little bit of dysfunction going on this evening. And as you can see, I'm joined by a very dear friend, good friend, um, Brother Esteban Vera. He is the business manager for Labor's Local 57, which is probably, if not the largest union on the East Coast, one of the largest on the East Coast. And he's going to share with us some information about himself, his personal journey, and also some things that we might want to know so that we can access the opportunities that are available to us through the job market, through the labor union. So Esteban, you will just say a few things about yourself.
Thank you so much, Pastor, first of all, for having me here. And like you were saying, I'm the business manager at Labor's Local 57, also a member of Labor Council for Latin American Advancement, and also a member of the Coalition of Black Trade Unions. I say that to say that we're totally involved in the community, like the great work that you're doing here in the church. I was born and raised here in North Philadelphia by two fantastic parents. They migrated from Puerto Rico here. My father was a hard working laborer for 40 years in the company that he worked for.
Wow.
And passed away at a young age of 59 from pancreatic cancer, which was a toll on the family.
I'm sure it was.
But the impact that he left for us will never leave. We try to pass it on to our family, to the community and all. And it definitely impacted me to who I am today. I'm near and dear. The city of Philadelphia means everything to me, even though when I graduated high school, I went into the military, traveled everywhere. This to me is home, and it means a lot. I'm a total believer that, when it comes to community, church, that's our foundation to make sure that we could try to move our children in the right direction. A lot of people hear me say this all the time, and I'm a true believer. If we don't take care of our home, nobody's going to do it for us.
Absolutely.
It's our obligation.
Yeah. Wow, nice. Great. Thank you for the information. What's the labor market like? That is, like, are there jobs available in labor? What do you think? How many jobs might be available? Are there hundreds? Are there thousands? Where are those jobs? Where do we find them?
So right now for us, we're one of the biggest hubs, right? As far as the building trades or the mechanical trades, we do a lot of labor work. But just like if you were to hear, electricians, steam fitters, operators, there's unions and opportunity in the city. The great thing is that, infrastructure and that kind of work has to be replenished and worked on every year. Like we see sometimes potholes in the city. Most people see the traffic jams when construction work and they get upset. Pastor, I'm jumping for joy because I'm happy because that means there's more jobs and people are working. So it's a great opportunity. All people have to do is come visit your local union, just like us. Come and we'll guide them in the right direction to try to get them placed, men and women alike. We don't only represent the heavy highway construction workers, we represent utility workers. We have a couple of cemeteries also, scrap yards, lumber yards. We have a slew. We have over 200 agreements with different contractors and such that we represent. So,
well, that's phenomenal, especially in the era that we're coming through right now, which was kind of, at least at worst, anti-union, at best passive, with respect to the work and the contribution of the unions. In fact, at points it almost seemed to be antagonistic. So how does a person get involved with the labor union? What's a typical path for it?
Well, it would be visiting us first of all. Visiting community groups, because we support a ton of community groups. We've been doing these food drives every other weekend with the sheriff's office, giving out food distribution all over the city, with churches too, because we have a lot of relationships with churches. But definitely, coming to speak to one of our representatives to try to get you on. I was one of those kids that after high school, I might not have had the opportunity to go to college. I chose to go into the military. I finished my 4 years, traveled, but that wasn't it for me either. My calling was getting into the labor movement. It meant a lot to me. And it started with, inquiring about the jobs, the construction work or whatever the case is, got pointed in one direction to the labor union and got the information and there's opportunity. We have the opportunity here, so I encourage
Okay.
people to come. Thank goodness to the very well point that you made, we just left an administration that was so anti-union, and when people hear union, I'm not the union. The union is the collective group of workers and people. We are the union. Where now we have an office and staff of a presidency now in the United States of America where they're pro-union, which is good. So the opportunities of infrastructure and more, funding for projects and more job opportunity is there now. Especially for the city of Philadelphia, but through all the states in the country, we're blessed. I think now the toughest part is even finding people that want to go to work.
Wow.
Which
Let
is
me
a big problem.
on that point. Let me ask you this: what are some of the requirements that people should prepare to present, if there are any?
Yeah.
What are requirements for getting let me say, just a basic labor job?
Yeah.
Almost everything seems to require a college degree now.
Sure.
Is that true in labor? What would, if I were coming as a greenhorn?
Sure.
What would I be expected to have, academically or experientially?
Well, the best thing about us, Rev, is that we are strong supporters of people deserving a second chance. For example, we have a lot of people in our field that might have done time, incarceration, and all that. That's our group of people,
Okay.
And we don't care about anything about that. We totally believe in second chances and opportunity. So there's a wide variety. I mean, you don't have to come in with any knowledge. What we'll do is open the doors and show you different opportunity, whether you want to go into construction, utility, flagging, or whatever the case is. Now, granted, there are safety programs that you might have to take, which is a 4-hour, 8-hour on a computer, to make sure you pass, just as the basic safety. We don't want to put you out on the road
Sure.
and not know the basic safety rules, because safety to us is number one. But it's nothing too strenuous, and that's the gift about it. For years, I think there's been this slew of hardly any union jobs when it came to our people, and that changed.
Okay.
We are one of the most diverse local unions, if not the most diverse, in the city of Philadelphia. I'm totally proud of that. Our staff and our business agents, the men and women there, we reflect that. And I'm totally excited. And I'm just hoping the rest of the groups start following along.
Okay. Wow. Oh, nice. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Here's kind of like a rubber meets the road question for me.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. What kind of medical benefits and educational benefits are available through labor unions in general?
So that's a great question. So you can have a great career. We have a pension. Pensions are hard to come by now, whereas you do your 20, 25 years, you get a check for the rest of your life. If you're married, God forbid something happens to you, it goes to your spouse. We have an annuity, which is a little different than the pension. An annuity is a lump sum of money that's saved for you on the hour that you get at the time of retirement. Excellent medical benefits. We used to have years ago what was called the Cadillac plan. That was the best medical plan you can have, because we are in a district council of close to 10,000 members, so we get a better deal in healthcare as to a company. A company might only have 40 employees. We have 10,000 members in there.
Okay.
So our benefits are excellent. Doesn't matter, since we're a union, it doesn't matter if you have one child or 10 children, they all have the same benefits. So we have prepaid legal
Wow.
for law firms. So we're blessed. We're advocates for that, definitely always, negotiating for better benefits, better wages. Right, just to give you an insight, heavy highway right now, the men and women in that field, they're starting at $35.20 an hour, which is great.
Yeah.
It's a great career. So yeah, it's a lot of people don't know about it, but I'm happy that we're here today, because we're trying to put it out as much as we can.
Wow. Man, listen, I want to tell you, just start heading down toward the union office. Let's get on board with this. If you're not in school, if you're taking a pause from school, whatever you're doing, it makes sense to go there and get some experience and look, establish a foundation for taking care of you and your family. God bless. Let me ask you this. In the field of labor,
Yes.
what do you think the male to female ratio is?
Good question. We have. There's definitely dominated when it comes to heavy highway construction, or dominated in the males. We do have some females that outwork males, though. Don't get it wrong. but as a consensus for other companies, whether it comes to flagging or some of our private industry companies, no, it can be half and half,
Is
which
that
is
right?
good. Yeah, there's opportunity, absolutely.
Okay.
Yep.
So you would encourage young women
Yes, absolutely. I would.
to pursue
Yeah.
jobs in the labor field,
Yeah.
and
Yes.
just for the sake of redundancy, let's think about the kinds of jobs here. Utility type jobs.
Utility. That's
What
right.
else?
Utility, we have private industry, whether it's working for a private contractor. For example, we have a company by the name of Henry Company that they sell the roofing supply to Home
Hmm.
Depots. Well, we have a signatory agreement where the members that we represent working there, and that's men and women.
Hmm.
You know, we have also lumber yards, men
Okay.
and women there too. We have companies that make the tin duct for the ventilation system.
Hmm.
I think there's probably more women that work in there than men.
Wow.
So yeah, there's ample opportunity.
Hmm.
You know.
The pay structure pretty equal.
You know what? When it comes to male and female, it has to be because we're the ones that negotiate the agreement.
Hmm.
I sit down, we have agents that do the negotiating and we sit down and look at the agreements. But it doesn't matter if you work there 2 years or 10 years, the pay has to be equal. We're advocates. On
Okay.
that. It's huge. And for the agreement, that's not the minimal pay they got to get. That's the minimal they have to get. So if
Okay.
the companies want to pay them more, they're allowed to pay
Okay.
them more.
Wow.
There's
Okay.
no
So
room
so
for that.
contract doesn't mean that you're just stuck at what was negotiated.
Not at all.
Yeah.
That
Okay.
means they can't violate and pay lower than that wage scale.
Wow. Gotcha.
We don't play favoritism and all that. No, that's a big no.
Hmm. Are there any other kinds of benefits or compensation that's available to the average person in the labor union? And how long does it take for those benefits to begin kicking in?
So it's interesting. Each agreement is different.
Mhm.
So, for example, I'm gonna go back to the construction again. Our busy season is in the summer, and in the winter months, sometimes it might slow down. Although the pay rate is the highest in that industry. Our benefits for the construction, it's a little different for the construction. You put in a time. It could be, whatever it is. It's the amount of hours that you work, and those hours are invested for your enrollment period then to start. As long as you accrue the hours, you'll be covered for your benefits, for the year, which is good because if the work slows down or you want to do something else, your benefits aren't cut off. They keep going, which is
Okay.
good. So the members like it. They enjoy it. Sometimes they don't want to work in the cold.
Mhm.
They have enough, whether it's accrued through compensation, but their family's still covered, because that's the important thing. When you have a young family or a family in general, you want to make sure those benefits are there.
So you're kind of in control of your own destiny
Absolutely.
with respect to that.
We have a construction pension fund that's over $1 billion. Thank God. Health and welfare fund, our healthcare fund with Blue Cross, that has over 4 or 5 years in reserves, which is great. And that's just a testimony to the investments that are made. They're modest, slow. We're not trying to win anything. We just want to make sure that our members, can retire, and we even have benefits when you retire too.
Okay.
So it's important, and we take care of our retirees as well.
You trying to recruit me?
Yeah. Come on, man.
Okay. Outside of the job, in what ways do labor unions support the neighborhood through charity or philanthropy?
So I'm a total believer in that, right? Just like you, we always have good conversation about that. It's so important to me. That's what this is about. If our members of the union are the community. They live in all the zip codes, and to me, it's huge for them to make sure that they're reaping any benefit they can to be able to help their brother, their sister, their mother, their father, or whatever the case is. So I encourage it. But no, I'm a total advocate for it. I mean, we've gone to homeless shelters to give out coats for kids. When school is out, we do giveaways, whether it's food. Me growing up in North Philadelphia, this is what helped me become the young man that I am. Hoping I'm still young. But, if it wasn't for the rec centers and the free lunches and me being able to play basketball all over the city, riding my bike, I don't know where I would be.
Gotcha.
I have friends that unfortunately didn't make it, and so I feel like it's an obligation for me to try to do the best I can because it might be for somebody else's benefit, like we should do.
Last, I think this will be my last one, but us preachers are known for saying that finally thing, right? Okay. What kind of upward mobility jobs are available in labor unions?
Well, that's the beauty of it. We have members that have gone on to become other trades that might be at a higher rate, like operators that you see in the city that run cranes. They might be making 80 something an hour.
Mhm.
Great benefits. A lot of people that really excel to another level they want to, they've come from us, which is, it makes me proud. Not including in case, or in the case if they go to management, maybe companies want to take them and put them into management positions. So there's ample opportunity
Wow.
everywhere. Yeah.
So you're not stuck on a jackhammer just
No,
because you
not at
start in
all.
there.
No.
Nobody's gonna start in on a
Right,
jackhammer,
right.
but just because you've run that, you're not stuck there.
No, not at all. You
Okay.
become a foreman, squad leaders, you could become a superintendent.
Wow.
So there's ample opportunity, and we don't want to stop anybody. I don't want to lose members, but at the same time, you want people to grow.
Yeah.
They'll bring other opportunity for other people too.
Wow. Yeah. Listen, appreciate your time and that you've taken to come and share with us on this. Are there any final words that you'd like to say to the community at large about about the union,
Yeah.
about whatever?
Well, right now, look, we're totally involved in the community. This is the reason why me and you met today. We
Mhm.
always have this great conversation. Um, our city right now is suffering from a lot of killing, from violence,
Mm-hmm.
and COVID surely did not help.
No.
I think it's important for all of us in the community, because we're all equal,
Mhm.
is to do our part to try to save our children. Because if we don't, we're not going to have a future. And this is part of it, trying to guide them. One of the biggest things I miss from my father is the experience and the years that he had on this land, because I can't lean on him anymore to talk to him. But I spend time talking with gentlemen like yourself, and that's important. And so what I would like to say is that we keep that in mind. It's important for us to do our due diligence, to volunteer, take care of community, and always help. That's the
Yeah.
important key.
Yeah.
We can't forget about history,
Yes.
and what history's shown us and what's happened. We got to educate our kids and take care of them.
Yeah. Well, listen, I did say finally, but finally, um, I'm curious.
Yeah.
What are some of the names that come to mind when you think about the labor union here in Philadelphia? Who are some of the names that you can remember?
So to me, I think of Benny Irving, which
Mm.
was business manager years ago in our labor's union. I can't forget about the people that helped me through it too.
Mhm.
The Rich McCurdy's, the Walt Higgins, and also Miss Yvonne Shipman. She helped me so much.
Arthur Rowland?
Arthur Rowland.
Yeah.
Arthur Rowland, great guy. We actually have his grandson working with us too.
Oh, no kidding.
Great guy.
Wow.
So these were all people that impacted and molded, myself and our staff, and important people in our life. They might not get all the accolades, but that's not what we do it for.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
So they're still around.
Yes. Listen, we've been hearing from Mr. Esteban Vera, the business manager of Labor's Local 57 down on 6th and Spring Garden. If you are unemployed and you are looking for a way to get in a job, now listen, you're going to go in there, you're going to work if you get in there, I'm sure. But if you're looking for a job in a real legitimate way of supporting you and your family and beginning your journey toward your future, because where you are now is not where you're going to be, I want to encourage you to go down to 6th and Spring Garden to the Laborers Local 57 office and talk with the representative there about how you can become involved and gain employment. God bless, and thank you so much for tuning in with us on tonight's version of Transparency Thursday. Thank you, Esteban, for coming. We really appreciate you. God bless.
God bless you too. Thank you so much.